The Splitfire Spark Plug 500 presented by Pep Boys next. You're enjoying TNN, the heart of country, and your #1 source for country music, entertainment, and information. If you'd like to know more about our programs or guest lineups, call TNN Viewer Services, 615-883-7000. For tickets, call 615-889-6611.
I want you to open up.
Teaching is her passion.
What are you going to do, keep me after school and spank me?
No, I think you probably enjoy that too much.
Her students all love her.
She's smart and she's classy.
But she better not catch you cheating.
You monster! You are a psycho!
Amanda Donohoe, Dalton James, Natasha Wagner, and Marky Mark. The Substitute, a USA world premiere movie.
Some things just go together, like mustard on a hot dog and Matlock on TBS. Yes, Andy Griffith's been your favorite sheriff. Now, he's going to be your favorite lawyer.
You'll never prove that.
Might be fun to watch me try.
Matlock, weekday mornings on TBS, beginning September 20th.
On TNN, the Nashville Network.
A coliseum of speed. A 1-mile bank challenge calling to the best in the sport of stock car racing. Dale Earnhardt, 5-time Winston Cup champ and the man most likely to succeed in 1993. He has dominated the season to date, but surely he must be feeling the breath of his closest pursuers. Like Rusty Wallace, 1989 titleist who well remembers the thrill of his championship. Wallace has 6 victories this year, and today his 3rd pole position. And this man, Mark Martin, winner of 4 races this year. Martin's Jack Roush team has recently been all but unstoppable, a juggernaut of performance. Will his late season charge deliver the so far elusive championship? 3 men chasing a title. 34 others chasing victory. A sure formula for drama as NASCAR returns to the Monster Mile. TNN Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the Splitfire Spark Plug 500 presented by Pep Boys. From Dover, Delaware and the Monster Mile. This is the car that owns 6 victories and 3 pole positions in 1993. It's on the pole today, and with its driver, let's go trackside and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, throughout most of Rusty Wallace's racing career, he has been a Pontiac man. But recently, rumors have surfaced that he may switch to Ford next year. But like you said, he's won 6 races. He's on the pole for today's race. Your Pontiacs have been causing a lot of excitement, Rusty. You're really running well.
I got a good Pontiac. I really enjoy being involved with the people, and I've had a lot of wins. I've probably had more wins than I could ever imagine with them. But unfortunately, it's not my decisions right now. It's in GM's decision whether they want us or not.
Well, looking at today's race, so you've been darn near unbeatable on 1 mile or less racetracks this year.
Well, it's a long race today. We've had good handling all the time. We really pay a lot of attention to our engine combinations, our chassis programs, and stuff like that. But we're really ready for today's race. I think we are. I led this race a ton the first race, and then Mark and I got in a big wreck coming off of turn 3 there, and I wasn't able to finish it. But, hey, we're on the front row today. This is the car I had at Bristol. It's a good car. I've won 4 or 5 times with this car so far, so I got a lot of confidence leading into today's event.
Well, good luck to you. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, folks, unless you've been doing the Rip Van Winkle thing over the last 4 weeks, you probably know that Mark Martin has been the hottest driver on the circuit. 4 Winston Cup wins in a row until last week at Richmond. Didn't have a bad run last week, Mark, but you're at a place, Dover, that it probably owes you one. You've done everything but win.
Well, we're looking forward to today. You know, the Valvoline team's got a great car under me, and we're all pumped up. This is a racetrack where we've run, you know, really good at in the past and haven't won yet. So we got our fingers crossed today. We're looking forward to it.
Good luck. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, I'm standing by with the points leader, Dale Earnhardt. And, you know, some talk has been bandied around lately that this guy's been stroking a little bit, trying to protect that point lead. I've known this guy for 35 years. I've never known him to stroke. Dale, you going to go get him today?
Well, we, want to race about 450 so laps there and try to be in contention to race in that last 50. It's going to be a tough race. We hadn't had much practice, and we think we got the car right or close, and we want to have it right so our tires wear right and everything. And you got some guys up here that need to win a race before the end of the year, and then trying to prove themselves to the car owners and to the sponsors, and it's going to be a tough race. You're just going to have to hopefully stay out of trouble until the end there and race them at the end.
Well, he's a tough man. He can do it. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn, and hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day for racing here at Dover. Those are 3 familiar faces in 3 very familiar cars, but that's not the case all the way through the field. Silly season 1994 is already upon us, and already there are big changes. Beginning today, Jeff Bodine climbs into the seat of the team he purchased from the Alan Kulwicki estate. That leaves Jimmy Hensley rideless. Lake Speed takes Bodine's seat in the Bud Moore Motorcraft Ford. Ernie Irvin has moved into the Robert Yates Racing Texaco Ford, and Jeff Purvis, who's been running a kind of a farm team development team with James Finch for the Morgan McClure people, now drives their Kodak car. And earlier, Todd Bodine replaced Dick Trickle in Butch Mock's Factory Stores Ford. There's one other temporary change Glenn will tell you about in a moment. But first, what is driving all of these mid-season changes? What's behind it? And what lies ahead? Let's go to my 2 broadcast partners, Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker, for the answers. Here's Neil.
When we start talking about driver change and the things happen internally in this garage area, just think back. You're looking at Jeff Gordon's car right now. He was being brought along by Ford Motor Company to drive a Winston Cup car. Guess what? He went to Chevrolet. Ford was really upset. Now you're looking at the Chevrolet that Ernie Irvin just got through driving. He went over to Ford. Is that a payoff? Who knows? But let me tell you what, we're always talking about the Winston Championship. Not only the Drivers' Championship, but the Manufacturers' Championship. Ford, Chevrolet, they fight every week on the racetrack, and now they're fighting off the racetrack to who drives which race car. I've never seen them so involved as they are right now as to which driver goes into which car. They're getting very protective about losing their drivers, and they're getting very aggressive about picking up new drivers. Very tough on the drivers to decide which way to go, but they're getting some help from the manufacturers. Let's go over to Buddy Baker and see what's happening to the driver points.
You know, guys, everybody's concerned with who's going to be number 1, number 2 in the points. But there's a race going on back in there from 4th place. $170,000. That's a lot of money. It drops. When you get the 14th spot in the point, you drop to $40,000. The difference of $130,000. Had years I didn't make that much. This is for the points, not counting what you're doing now. These guys are going to go after it the last part. There'll be no pulling over or anything else. It's going to be hard racing, and everybody wants to move up in the points.
The 26 Quaker Straight Ford that you're looking at here is normally driven by Brett Bodine, who is in 14th place in the points. But Brett crashed hard in practice on Friday. The super sub of NASCAR this year, Dick Trickle, has taken over. He ran some of the fastest laps in practice yesterday. Dick, you got to feel good about your chances. This car's flying.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kenny Bernstein has put a super team here together with Quaker State people. The car's quick, and only like 5 laps or so we were running a 23-second bracket. And, I'm just proud to be filling in for Brett. And, I know it's harder for him than it is me right now, but Brett, this is for you.
Well, we have a report that Brett is okay. He's gone to Allentown, Pennsylvania hospital to have a cast fitted for his wrist, but he is okay.
TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the Split Fire Spark Plug 500. He is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. By Buick and your local Buick dealer. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And by Pep Boys. For quality parts, accessories, and service, come to Pep Boys, America's Automotive Supercenter. It's a packed house and a perfect day for racing here in Dover, Delaware. Pre-race ceremonies continue. We'll be right back.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just eat up the engines.
2 champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win.
I'll try to remember that, AJ.
Do that.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
Safety is something we all think about. Buick has considered the subject from many angles. So for frontal impacts, Buick Regal offers a driver's side airbag. And for side impacts, Regal meets 1997 government safety standards right now. 3 years in advance. Why has Buick put so much into Regal? Because you put so much into Regal. Regal from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
The time has come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. It's so quick and easy, it can cut painting time in half. So get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Let's go back down to the starting grid. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, we're standing by the DuPont Chevrolet driven by rookie phenom Jeff Gordon. And, you know, it's not unusual for a young kid to take a fast car out on a ride for a Sunday afternoon. This guy does it regularly, and he does it well. You've been running awfully well lately, Jeff. I know you got to be looking for that first win. Could it come today?
Well, I hope so. We got a lot of folks from DuPont up here, and the car is just driving beautiful. It's probably one of the best cars I've had. This crew's doing a good job, so we're just going to see how it goes. I think today might be the day.
Okay, best of luck to you. Of course, Jeff, along with everybody else here today, was led to the checkered flag at last week's race by the same man who will lead them to the green flag today, as Mike Joey reports.
Mark Martin, going for a modern-day record 5th win in a row, was the leader at the halfway point. But Rusty Wallace, earlier penalized for jumping a restart, would move his way back to the front at lap 267. Soon, Bill Elliott would be right on Wallace's tail for the lead. 15 laps to go. The restart turns into a major pileup as you watch from Bobby Hillen's car. Next restart, 10 cars to be on the lead lap with 9 to go. Earnhardt and Elliott almost get together, but caution comes out again. With just 2 laps to go, Ken Schrader, a lap down, battles Dale Earnhardt as he tries to overtake Elliott. Elliott winds up second. Rusty Wallace gains his 6th victory of the season. Earnhardt still with a secure point lead. Rusty Wallace gained a bit of ground over Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, and Morgan Shepherd. Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, and Ernie Irvan are your top 10.
The final practice session was canceled due to darkness after the Busch Grand National race ran late yesterday, so reverting back to the early practice session. In my book, Ernie, you were the quickest. This thing was flying yesterday.
Well, I tell you, Larry and all the guys and Robert and just done a great job with this Texaco Haviland Ford. And, you know, we haven't really touched it since we got her, qualified good, and it seems to be racing. You know, hopefully it'll race good. A little different weather right now. And I want to say hi to Kim and Terry. They're all at home watching, and hopefully Jordan's feeling better.
Ernie, good luck. Mike Joy?
Thanks, Randy. Sears Die-Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most, presents the starting grid for today's race. You've met Rusty Wallace, his 15th career pole, but his first here at Dover, and Ernie Irvan has his 2nd straight front row start in the Robert Yates car. Jeff Gordon, 4th time this year he started 3rd. Jeff Bodine, first start as an owner driver in Winston Cup ranks. Row number 3, Mark Martin, who's won 4 of the last 5, and Rick Wilson with 7 top 10s. Morgan Shepherd, winner at Atlanta, and Harry Gant, who has 4 Dover victories. Dale Earnhardt, who won here in June. Kenny Schrader, who won here at Dover in '91. Bobby Labonte, freshman driver, and Rick Mast, who ran 6th here in June. Bill Elliott, who's won here 4 times, and Derek Cope, who has a victory here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to give the command that will send the field on its way, the Splitfire Spark Plug 500, presented by Pep Boys. Here is the founder and vice president for auto racing of Dover Downs, Mr. Melvin Joseph. Gentlemen, start your engine.
And with that, 37 cars come to life here at Dover Downs as you look down through the rest of the starting grid. Ted Musgrave was fastest second-day qualifier ahead of Ricky Rudd. 36 positions in the official field and one provisional starter, Jimmy Means. What a day for racing. Yesterday it rained most all day. We just snuck in the 200-mile bush race won by Todd Bodine after Joe Nemechek wore out the field early, cracked the wall, and then Bodine came back after getting 4 tires with 50 laps to go and won in a walk.
Exciting race, and I tell you, Neil knows a little something about not being able to practice yesterday. A lot of these guys didn't get to run their tires in, and they're worried about maybe having a tire problem later on.
Yeah, they like to scuff the tires before the race. They didn't have that opportunity, so they'll be running new tires all day long and see what happens.
We'll be back to Dover after this.
Only a Pep Boys Automotive Supercenter could offer so much. Thousands of brand name parts and accessories in stock 7 days a week. Car or truck, import or domestic, Pep Boys will make sure you get the part you need when you need it. Pep Boys. Look for our value pack catalog in your newspaper, mailbox, or at the store.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
The best defense is not to offend. Thus, introducing the new Right Guard Sports Stick. Now with a time-release formula for longer-lasting protection against hostile odor all day. For protection that endures.
On the next Celebrities Off Stage, we'll shoot hoops with Sawyer Brown star Mark Miller. Barbara Mandrell is one of the hardest working women in show business. We'll take a look at her blockbuster new show. And Ricky Van Shelton almost didn't survive his country music success. He'll tell us his dramatic story.
I looked for my pistol because I was going to put it to my head and just blow my brains out. I was so miserable.
Celebrities Off Stage on TNN, the Nashville Network, Monday night.
Getting ready to go racing on the Monster Mile. Bunch of TNN fans. A bunch of them here today. What a crowd. That's the new grandstand down in turn 1 as the field rolls out for the first of what looks like will be 4 pace laps today. Everybody moving. And headed for turn 1. We'll be riding along with Mark Martin in the Jack Roush Valvoline Ford today, winner of 4 of the last 5 races. We'll have 3 cameras on board of Mark's car. First, what Mark sees through the roof cam. That's as close to his view as we can show you. And the over-the-shoulder 360-degree pan and tilt race cam, and also we'll have the suspension cam on Mark's car up there in the right front, which TNN pioneered at Rockingham. In fact, it was on Mark's car.
It's like one of his old favorite springs. It's been used a little bit.
Just a bit.
Look at the debris is generating off the right front tire there, just going around here now. That's why it's so slick the first couple of laps until you blow that away out through.
But he also will be riding with Jeff Gordon, leading rookie on the tour in the DuPont Finishes Chevrolet from the Rick Hendrick Racing Team. And there's a look at Jeff at work from the right windowsill over near the windshield post. And we got a roof cam on Jeff's car, but it's looking out the back, and that's the view he hopes he has of the competition today. And also the standard race cam is mounted midpoint in the roll cage, just over Jeff's right shoulder. As you see him following the pole sitter, Rusty Wallace. Dover Downs, 1 mile, measured 15 feet up from the inside rail here. 24-degree turns, 9-degree bank in the straightaways. Short straightaways for a mile track, just 1,000 feet. It means a lot of corner as you look at it from the aerial view. And the harness racing track inside of the stock car oval. Couldn't ask for nicer fall weather here in the Mid-Atlantic states. There is the NASCAR weather radar painting essentially a blank screen. There's not a little bit of, I think there's a cloud down there past Martinsville, Virginia. Hopefully it'll be gone by next week. 69 degrees, 64% humidity. Winds out of the north. Stiff breeze there, 13 miles per hour. No chance of rain today. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Here's an update on the tire situation, guys. They ran this tire here in the spring, and if you can remember back, a couple of guys did cut down some right fronts. Now, this is the tire that they've used at Bristol. They also brought it to Michigan, where they picked up a tremendous amount of speed at Michigan up there in the recent race. Now, in light of the tires cutting down at Dover here last time, Goodyear has recommended that they up the tire pressure. It's going to be 50 pounds recommended on the right front, 30 on the left sides, or excuse me, it's 50 on the right sides and 30 on the left sides. Now, most of these teams have around 40 to 50 tires. They want enough where they can change tires about every 50 laps if need be. So that's really the tire story. And depending on who you talk to, there may be a problem and there may not. We'll just have to watch and see.
A couple of laps before we go racing, Randy. Look at all the tires mounted up for these teams. We'll be back to Dover Downs for the start of this race in a moment. Polaroid wants to know if you think you know NASCAR racing. In a few seconds, we're going to show you a photo and want you to spot the error and play the Polaroid Captiva photo fake-out game.
Hey, Aaron Tippin, you get out of my car.
Sorry, Shauna, I didn't mean to steal your ride. I was just letting everybody know about the Polaroid Captiva photo fake-out sweepstakes.
In just a second, we're going to show you a photo that's been retouched. All you have to do is figure out what's wrong with this picture.
All correct entries are eligible to win some great prizes. 3 winners will win a 2-night trip for 2 to beautiful Captiva Island, Florida.
And 1 grand prize winner will win a dream trip for 2 to Daytona 500 and 2 nights at Captiva Island.
And Shauna and I will meet you in Daytona for dinner, and there's more.
Like Polaroid's new Captiva cameras and Aaron Tippin's art.
While everyone talks about how racing technology makes their street cars better, there isn't a car company today that brings more race-winning technology to the street than Chevrolet.
Now, when I was a young boy,
Cold filter, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
but now I'm a man, way past 21.
They'll look for a green flag this time by. The field is in the backstretch in front of the horse race grandstand here at Dover Downs. Today's race starts 37 cars, 500 laps is 500 miles around this place. Bill Elliott set the race record back in 1990, average speed 125 miles an hour. We'll have our toll-free number in use throughout today's telecast. If you have questions you want to pose to the folks on pit road, people in this race, or other questions about this race or NASCAR racing, the call is free, 1-800-451-7331, and that'll be in operation all throughout today's telecast. Make a note of the number. We'll repeat it in just a bit as we get ready for a start here at Dover Downs. 500 of the toughest miles anywhere in auto racing are set to begin. Chevy versus Ford on the front row. Harry Gant drops down low right there mid-pack at about the 6th row. Earnhardt behind him gets a good move. And the front three are single file coming off the corner. Rick Wilson up high really shook the car coming off of turn 2. And a crash in the back straightaway. Darrell Waltrip goes spinning, sliding. One car dives to the apron to miss him. And Dave Marcus is in the wall along with Bob Schacht. Oh, what a tough break for Marcus. Southeast Technical Group, his primary sponsor today. There's Jimmy Means, who was involved in it.
Darrell Waltrip just come by. He didn't hurt his car at all. He was up to full speed.
And Bob Shack, the ARCA racer in the Queenstown Harbor Oldsmobile, pulls away with minor damage. Marcus's car is sponsored also today by a honeymooning couple. Got married yesterday. Alan Young from New Jersey called up Dave, said what would it cost to get on that car, and Dave told him, and he sent him a check, and so congratulations to them. Hope the marriage survives better than that quarter panel.
For the first lap.
See what happened. Top of your screen.
You see Darrell crossed up right there. He's down near the bottom of the racetrack. He lost traction coming off that corner. I don't know whether somebody bumped him or what, but he just turned around there on straightaway.
Jimmy Spencer gets through. Spencer was the car right behind. There's Shack into the outside wall. And he's going to come down into Marcus. Oops. Sorry, Alan and Tina.
Looked like Waltrip was either got loose or got a little bit of help getting loose up off that corner. Well, the first thing you see was the back end of his car break loose.
Boy, Greg Sachs just did miss him on the bottom side.
That was the car that snuck past on the bottom. Good move for Sachs. So caution out on the very first lap here. And with this caution flag, we'll take this pause from Dover Downs International Speedway. The monster has gotten in the first bite here. 2 laps complete.
Dolly Parton, Roger Miller, Conway Twitty, Tanya Tucker, Alan Jackson, Reba McEntire, Garth Brooks, Vince Gill, Billy Ray Cyrus, and more. The best of 10 years of Nashville now. Catch the history before it's history. TNN beginning Monday, September 27th.
There's still time to register for the Mid-Atlantic Sportsman's Saltwater Tournament. It's not too late. Saturday, September 25th. Cash, prizes, and awards for all eligible inshore and offshore species of fish. Proceeds benefit Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Southside Hampton Roads. Savings bonds for winners in the Kids Division. Register now at all area Hooters restaurants, Marina Shores, Salt Ponds Marina, or your favorite tackle shop. The Mid-Atlantic Sportsman's Saltwater Fishing Tournament. Saturday, September 25th, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't miss it.
October 1987, a small child is rescued from an abandoned well. No country comes to the aid of a child the way we do. Yet today, millions of children need our help, lost in an education system unable to prepare them for today's competitive world. Imagine if that same effort went into keeping the promise that every child gets the best education and has a future. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE for information on changing the schools in your community.
Still under the first caution of the day, Darrell Waltrip's car unscathed. After that, Bob Shack, Dave Marcus, and Kenny Wallace were not so lucky. They each received damage in that accident toward the back of the field. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, Darrell Waltrip came over the radio, said the air pressure in his tires were just a little bit high, it was. So he said the car just came out from under him. Barry Dodson, the crew chief, also told me he thought there was a little dust. There's a gate that opens on the backstretch over there to let spectators across the racetrack, and he thought there was a little dust there that he hit, but it was a little air pressure problem. He thinks he'll be all right, but gave him a little scare back there.
So there's Marcus. Rather, there's Waltrip, and that's not the way to start your honeymoon with a big dent in a quarter panel. But just married, it says on the back there. Now Marcus says he's going to send his PR guy around to every city they're going to look at engagement notices and see if he can keep this deal going. Hasn't decided though how much he's going to charge for divorce notices on the quarter panel.
Boy, you're touching on the gray area. Be quiet.
I'm telling you, line up somebody's divorce on the car and the wife will want the whole car and the house and everything. We are going racing this time by. Here's the way they're running. Rusty Wallace, the race leader. Ernie Irvin running in second. In third is Jeff Gordon. In fourth, Jeff Bodine, and in fifth, get a quick, Mark Martin is running in the fifth spot. Morgan Shepherd is sixth. Rick Wilson is seventh. Harry Gant eighth. Dale Earnhardt is ninth. Bobby Labonte 10th.
Mike, we just heard at the top of the show they said they upped the air pressure to 50 pounds on the right side. That's a lot of air pressure for a track this size. That might be some of the deal Waltrip was feeling first of the race. It's a lot of air pressure for this size racetrack.
4 laps complete, 2 under green. Caution will end at lap 5 here.
What is that, about 10 over what they normally run?
Yeah, about 10 over. And what you got to keep in mind, if they run 50 in that tire there, the inner tire has 70 pounds in it. So pretty rigid mount on the ground right there.
Started to oil forward, showing them to hold it down, and now green flag waves, and Rusty Wallace brings them up through the gearbox and back down to turn 1. from Jeff Gordon's car. In third place.
There's that area they talk about the dust on the back straightaway. That's where you come across. It'll take a lap or two to get that out of the way.
Up ahead, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvin in the Haviland car. Gordon is third, and right in his mirror, Jeff Bodine. From Mark Martin's car, off the roof cam, looking ahead at Jeff Bodine in that black and red number 7 Ford. There's Martin. What a tear he's been on these last few weeks.
I talked to the crew chief the other day about Jeff Gordon, how well he liked the car up here, and he said I had to leave the front office and go back down there and set that car up myself again. The crew chief did, and he said he really likes the car, back like when they were running for Davis.
Dick Trickle, running for Kenny Bernstein, has drifted back to 32nd spot in the race. Trickle might have been in the middle of when Darrell Waltrip had his incident.
Boy, there's Jeff Gordon right up on the inside. Ernie Irvin. Irvin slid up about a half a lane. Gordon drove right down in there beside him. And passed it.
From Jeff Gordon's car, you see him complete the pass and move up into second. Big challenge, Morgan Shepherd up the outside, and the Citgo Ford of the Wood brothers just gained about 3 spots just like that.
Woo, look at the back end of that 21 car. It was switching everywhere. Morgan did a great job in that car this year.
And he's had a lot of success here at Dover.
Boy, have the Wood brothers. Their cars always run good here.
Look who's on the run.
Earnhardt on the bottom, and Rick Wilson. Is Mark Martin in trouble?
This is a case where he just got out of that inside lane. Or they won't give it back to you. You got to take it back. He's going to have to work to get back inside.
Top of your screen, Harry Gant passes Mark Martin on the inside as they come back to start finish and complete lap 8. There's Rusty Wallace leading the field. From our Ray Bestis aerial chopper, Ray Bestis, best in brakes, bringing you these pictures.
We have a spin in turn 1.
Phil Parsons, Mannheim Auto Auctions Chevrolet, up into the wall. Phil had a great run here in yesterday's Busch Grand National race. Rusty will handily lead the pack back to the flag as Parsons sits against the wall at turn 2.
Trying to get it moving, but it's not any use right now. That thing's got the radiator and oil cooler all knocked off along with the right front wheel.
Well, we ran 2 laps of caution, and then we ran of green, and then 6 laps of green. 11 complete.
There he looks like he's getting down. Oh, he's down under. Who is that? The
Musgrave
car. And they got together a little bit, and around he goes. And I'm telling you, you're going to hit this fence a ton. Look
Who's that? Derek Cope.
Oh, Cope, man. People wonder why Cope didn't just turn left and get out of the way. You just can't turn left up there. It's real slippery on that part of the track. You just got to ease the car on down.
Then Parsons looks like he guided the car back up to the wall to keep it out of more trouble as everybody moves by on the inside. Here's another angle.
He just got underneath and had nowhere to go and got down on the flat a little bit there, and it turned right around on him. Oh. If anybody's ever hit that wall like myself, that hurts just to see that.
Yeah, it can bring flashbacks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That car still rests up against the retaining wall where it stopped. And the track crews kind of cautiously going to Phil's aid.
It's a good indication how steep this racetrack is. So these guys like climbing a mountain to get up there to him.
You can see Phil inside the car there. He's okay. He's moving around and everything.
I wouldn't have thought the fire extinguisher would set up. I figured it would fall off of that bank.
On pit road, Dave Marcus and Jimmy Mean still repairing crash damage from the lap 2 incident. 12 laps are complete here at Dover out of 500. We'll be right back.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Who do you love? Do you love?
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
No one in the history of the Charlotte Motor Speedway has ever gone faster than Winston Cup champion Alan Kulwicki. He knew that preparation was the key for both man and machine to beat the competition and sit on the pole for the big race. Wednesday night, October 6th at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the battle for the Mellow Yellow 500 pole position will be full tilt as today's stars go for it all during Winston Pole Night. These limited edition collector tickets for Winston Pole Night have been printed in celebration of the man, his life, and his incredible accomplishments.
TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the Split Fire Spark Plug 500 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Phil Parsons is okay after his bout with the wall at turn number 2, and the monster claims another victim, this time a Chevrolet. Larry Hedrick car started by Phil Parsons. And they're trying to get squared away that they can pull that car. They want to roll it down off the wall instead of sending a wrecker up there, and Phil gets the mandatory trip back to the care center.
I wasn't real sure about that. It looked like he might have been looking at somebody trying to make a little gesture there.
Yeah, it looked like he's walking on the track to kind of question what happened. It's hard to say.
So they'll try to roll the car down off the banking and then be able to clear it off. See if we can get a word here with Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Chevrolet. Buddy?
Jeff, it's Buddy Baker at TNN. Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy. How you doing, bud?
Doing well, man. You're flying. It looked like you're really hooked up.
Well, we're only 15 laps into this race right now, so we'll just have to see. It's a long, long day, but I tell you, this DuPont Chevrolet has been running good this weekend, and it's running really good right now. We're just, you know, just trying to get up here and get in a rhythm, get in a pace. I'm not really looking to just take off or anything. I just want to be there at the end.
Well, we wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff Gordon currently running in the 2nd position. Calls on our 800 number. And again, it's toll free. And if you have questions, particularly about this race, but other questions about Winston Cup racing, if we have time, we'll try to get to them. Otherwise, pass them along to some of our sister shows on TNN. Toll free number 800-451-7331. Sam from Massachusetts. Neil wanted to know what your job was outside of racing before you got racing full time.
I work as a pipe fitter. I worked out of the union as a pipe fitter, putting pipe all together in these big buildings, and it used to be really dangerous on those high-rise buildings, so I went to something easier and went to racing.
Easier and safer?
If you fall off one of those buildings, you don't have a chance. A race car, you got a shot at it.
Let's get a word with Jeff Purvis here in the Morgan McClure Chevrolet. See if we can set up our in-car communication with him.
Get all the right knobs in the right direction here, and we'll do it.
There's a bunch to it here. Jeff, this is TNN. Can you copy us?
Hear you real good.
Well, how's it going so far here? I know we're only 16 laps into this thing, but you didn't get much practice yesterday afternoon. How do you find the track today?
The track feels pretty good. The car's feeling real good. I'm just trying to take my time and stay out of some of these accidents and try not to cause any of them.
Okay, good luck today.
Thank you.
Purvis has had quite a relationship with the Morgan McClure team. His car owner, James Finch, has purchased cars and engines from the Morgan and McClure team and Runt Pittman to run in ARCA. And so it was they had that natural relationship going. So when Ernie Irvin left, here was the driver that they had worked with. And so he and James got together. James Finch is going to run the Busch operation with Jeff as driver, and Jeff driving this car for at least the balance of this season.
Yeah, James Finch and Purvis have been together for a long time. They used to win a lot of those big dirt races and all. James is a big racer, and I tell you what, it's a good opportunity for Jeff Purvis to do good in his 4-car.
Let's hope he can do well with it. His first trip up to Winston Cup racing met with less than success. He's a lot older, a lot wiser, and I think he'll do pretty well. Polaroid Captiva photo fake out. Says if you know NASCAR racing, can you spot the error in the picture that we're about to show you?
Hey, Aaron Tippin, you get out of my car.
Sorry, Shauna, I didn't mean to steal your ride. I was just letting everybody know about the Polaroid Captiva photo fake out sweepstakes.
In just a second, we're going to show you a photo that's been retouched. All you have to do is figure out what's wrong with this picture.
All correct entries are eligible to win some great prizes. 3 winners will win a 2-night trip for 2 to beautiful Captiva Island, Florida.
And 1 grand prize winner will win a dream trip for 2 to Daytona 500 and 2 nights at Captiva Island.
And Shauna and I will meet you in Daytona for dinner, and there's more.
Like Polaroid's new Captiva cameras and Aaron Tippin's RCA catalog, including his latest release, Call of the Wild.
So if you can spot what's wrong in this picture, enter quick.
To enter, call 1-900-737-4TNN. Each call costs 90 cents per call. No phone call necessary to win. Or send your answer along with your name, address, and phone number to this address. This sweepstakes is brought to you by Polaroid's Captiva camera.
John, how you doing? You know AutoZone customers are pretty special. I mean, they take great pains in doing a job just right. So they know exactly what they want. That's why we carry so many parts. And also why we price them so low every day of the week. Because you gotta admire a guy who'll tackle a job like putting in a starter, a water pump, a rack and pinion. And you gotta give a guy like that exactly what he wants. The right parts and the right price.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
The best defense is not to offend. Thus, introducing the new Right Guard Sports Stick. Now with a time-release formula for longer-lasting protection against hostile odor all day. For protection that endures.
18 laps complete at Dover as you watch from the Pontiac safety car driven by Elmo Langley. Here are the Turn 1 suites. And here's the big picture of the Monster Mile. Ray Bestis, Best in Brakes, provide our aerial photos today. You see the horse track in gray inside of the 1 mile stock car oval. And just in the upper right-hand corner of the picture, that's the new Delaware Superhighway, Route 1, that will connect this part of the state with Interstate 95 and make commuting to the races a lot easier for the fans up north.
It's really going to make me mad when they finish that. It'd be easy to get, it'd be too easy to get in and out of here. I've been waiting. I should go out there and help them finish it.
Yeah, quickly, before next May. 2 cautions in these first 20 laps to dump the average speed back to a less than impressive 62 miles an hour.
And I think Elmo's got the record in the pace car, 62.
He has led the most laps so far. I wonder if he'll get 5 bonus points. What do you think? 8 laps under green, 11 under caution so far. And we're going to get 1 to go this time. Light will come off on the safety car. And Rusty Wallace will lead Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Bodine, and Morgan Shepherd toward the green flag. Dale Earnhardt's running 6th, Rick Wilson 7th, Harry Gant 8th, Bobby Labonte's in 9th, Ken Schrader is 10th, 11th is Bill Elliott, Mark Martin slid back to 12th, Rick Mast is 13th, 14th is Kyle Petty, and 15th is Hut Strickland. Sterling Marlin is in 16th, followed by Ted Musgrave, Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Rudd, and Michael Waltrip 20th. Then it's Todd Bodine in 21st. 15 car. Who's that? This Lake Speed.
Let me help you on these things.
Thank you. Thank you. It's going to take a little while. Lake Speed in Bud Moore's car is 22nd. Then Derek Cope, Dale Jarrett, and Greg Sachs. That's the top 25. Ahead of Terry Labonte, Wally Dallenbach, Jeff Purvis, Bobby Hillen, and Dick Trickle in 30th.
Gordon cleaning these tires off for this restart. Get all of them junk off of them. It's fixing to take a pretty good run down in turn 1.
Maybe now we can get this race started. Lap 20 coming up here.
You notice he's got his hand on the shifting lever. There's 2 reasons for that. He's, of course, going to change the gear right away, but you want to make sure it don't jump out of gear when you accelerate.
Rusty got a good pull on the field that time.
Yeah, I was going to say, when we talk about accelerating, Rusty Wallace car really takes off on all these restarts. We're back here at Mark Martin. kind of misleading. Mark got hung on the outside and really fell back. I don't think his car's off that much, other than he just got caught outside early and fell way back.
Harry Gant moving up. He slipped under Rick Wilson. So did Bobby Labonte. They each picked up a spot. Well, Bobby Labonte's been strong these last couple of weeks. And there's Earnhardt going underneath Morgan Shepherd and into the top 5. Earnhardt started 9th. He's up to 5th. Point leader and 5-time champion.
You know, we were talking yesterday. It's about time for Gant to really start flexing his muscle. In this racetrack, I don't know if the guy that runs this racetrack any better here again does. He's on the move right now.
Well, it is September.
He's going under Morgan Shepherd right as we were talking there.
And this will be for 6th place.
There's Earnhardt 5th.
And Shepherd's going to backslide just a bit in the field. He's lost 3 spots by being up in that high lane. Jeff Bodine had a look underneath Ernie Irvan.
Got a real good run right in the middle of the corner. I thought he was going by him. He pulled right up on him.
You know, guys, there's nobody in this race that wants to win any more than Jeff Bodine, because this car is not on winner's circle for next year, and he feels that he might can win a couple of races before the end of the season.
And I think Ford Motor Company's betting just that too. Helped them win that manufacturer's championship. Moving him over from the Bud Moore car into the car to the team that he has purchased.
You see Jeff Gordon's running this car back down of Rusty's. I tell you, he's strong. He says he's just riding, but he's doing a pretty good job of riding, don't you think, Neil?
Yeah, he's just riding at a high rate of speed. You know, anytime you say I'm just going to take it easy, but if you get the least little bit of sniff that guy in front of you is falling off the pace or something, it's just as well to ride out front if you can do that.
The speeds here have really climbed in recent years. When Jeff Gordon gets down to the end of the straightaway, he'll be traveling about 170 miles per hour on a 1-mile racetrack. And then down in the middle of the corner, just before he gets back on the gas, he's slowed down to about 135.
I'll tell you what, you're asking a lot of these engines to pull that torque down, pull them down low RPM, zing them up off the corner like they do. And that's one reason this racetrack eats these engines up. Well, I'll tell you, Gordon's car really makes a good move right in the middle. It seems like Rusty jumps off the corner.
26 laps complete. You're watching the 2 leaders, Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon.
Never saw Gordon close up right in the center of the corner.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, I'm standing by with Phil Parsons. He walked out of the infield care center, and Phil, that was an awfully hard hit. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Glenn. I got up beside the 55 car driving down in the corner, and I don't know if he thought he needed to block me this early in the race. He was holding me up. We had an awfully good car here today, and best car we've had in months, and he took us out. I don't know exactly why. It's a little bit early to be blocking, but he took us out.
Well, we're glad to see you're okay. Better luck next time.
Thanks.
That's smoke.
I'd just like to say hello to Marshall and Kinsler back home. I'm all right to be home tonight. Thanks.
That smoke you saw a moment ago in turn 1. Bob Shack slid up, banged the wall, went back down to the infield, and the car, I believe, came to rest at the inside of turn 2. No caution. There is Bob's car.
Wow.
And it smacked the wall pretty good after it looks like he cut down a right front.
Yeah, he didn't do one of those glancing jobs. He got into it pretty good. He squared it up pretty bad.
But there will not be a caution as he's made it all the way around without putting any debris on the racetrack.
Well, if he didn't put any debris on the racetrack, it went over the fence, because there's a lot of that car. There's a lot of that car missing. One part I saw.
There he is limping around into the pit lane at turn 4 and behind the wall.
Boy, Jeff Gordon's trying every straightaway to get by Rusty. I believe he's got a little advantage in the center of the corner. The car seems to turn a little bit better than Rusty right at this point in the race, and he's trying every way in the world to get by.
But he's just riding, I know.
Yeah, right.
It's just racing. That's what it's named. The game is racing. Very little riding goes on.
And one reason why, there is Ernie Irvan moving in. The front 2 cars have broken away a bit on this restart, but Irvan is catching back in. There's the interval. Back as far as 5th place. As it's closing back up.
There's Mr. Earnhardt. He's moving in to join the battle.
And a long gap back to 6th place Harry Gant from there.
There's been the least bit of concern about tires. Everybody's concerned. If you remember the last race, Earnhardt was the guy that kept wearing the right fronts and busting down a couple of right fronts. So I would say he's probably the gauge. If they've got a tire problem, either that he's going to be careful to see what happens, but there's a little bit concerned about it.
But too, Neil, I would imagine they have changed their chassis setup for this track a whole bunch from what they had here in June. We'll see.
When I went through the garage this morning, they said, hey, we loosened the car more than he wants it probably, just so it worked that right front over. So I guess they're going to have to just get the car balanced to where it suits the tires more so than him right now.
Mark Martin's moved back up to 8th as Rick Wilson slid up the groove. Bill Elliott and Kyle Petty drove past before Wilson gets back in line. Ken Schrader now dips to the inside of the STP Pontiac.
Schrader going to take a look on the inside. And once you get that nose there, you have definitely got the right of way. That guy will give you that inside lane. You know, in the Busch race yesterday, they can do a little bit more side-by-side racing than they can with these Winston Cup cars. All this horsepower, you need that bottom lane to get a hold of that ground.
So Schrader moves up and moves on. Up there at about 10th place. Up front, lapping by the Hurley limo Ford of Jimmy Means.
The lead is really tightened up with that one little bit of traffic right there.
There's your front 5. Wallace, you're riding with Gordon. Then it's Irvin, Jeff Bodine, and Earnhardt.
I tell you that, just like we were talking about before, that Carl Gordon closed up right in the center. Here we see Hut Strickland, Ricky Rudd, Spencer going under Hut Strickland.
That's 15th place right there.
Rudd's always run good at this racetrack. And I think in the back of a lot of people's mind, they said, well, he'll come on in the race. But he's kind of caught back in this traffic as if he worked his way up there.
September's been a good month for him always. Richmond and Dover, 2 of his better racetracks. You see he's a 3-time winner here. Let's go back up front. 37 laps complete. Jeff Gordon doing a me and my shadow routine with Rusty Wallace.
I'll tell you, these 2 cars are just about evenly matched, just in the center of the corner. You see him close up a little bit. Now Rusty will pull a little bit right along here, so they're pretty evenly matched. Still taking error.
Let's get word from the Rusty Wallace pits. Here's Randy.
Well, as good as he's running right now, guys, he came over the radio and said the car is a little bit tight. Now, what these crews don't want to do down here right now is go ahead and over-exaggerate this tightness this early in the race. You're only 38 laps on these set of tires, and that could very well loosen up for him. So he's complaining it's a little bit tight right now. I've seen a lot of guys up and down messing with this air pressure already. We're just going to have to see what these tires look like when they take them off. But the driver's got the, he's got the last say in it. So if he feels tight, he might make him change a few things.
This seems to be one track where you chase the setup of the race car all day to keep the car up front.
I tell you what, Mike, there's been occasions here you could be leading the race, and if you're not liberal enough to go ahead and change it, even though you're leading, you might have the best car, you better be willing to change it all day because the track's going to change. The leaders will have to be willing to make changes all day, or the other guys behind you make those changes pass right on by you.
Front 5 continuing tight formation here. Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Bodine, and Dale Earnhardt. 2 of those top 5 drivers in new rides. We asked Ernie Irvin his perspective on all these driver changes.
Well, I mean, we all got to put food on our tables, and what's best for us is what everybody has to do. Whether it's me, whether it's Jimmy Means or whoever, they all got to do what's best for themselves, their families, and this is something I felt I needed to do for my family.
Where's the picture?
There's no picture.
Did you see the picture come out? How can that be a Polaroid camera if there's no picture?
It doesn't look like a Polaroid camera.
It's not a Polaroid camera.
Introducing the new Polaroid Captiva. It's sleek, it's stylish. Its pocket-sized pictures stay in a special compartment till you take them out, so you're free to shoot and shoot.
Maybe if you shake it.
Yeah, shake the camera.
The new Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in till you take them out.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
next Sunday on TNN Outdoors. It's the Bass Fishing World Championship. 41 top anglers competing in a $50,000 cast for cash. Last year's winner, Robert Hamilton, has sights set on back-to-back victories, but the competition's not biting. Two-time champ Rick Clune and last year's runner-up Denny Brower aren't about to cut bait. It's a fast and furious fishing frenzy. The 23rd Annual Bassmasters Classic World Championship. Next Sunday on TNN Outdoors.
The leaders were getting into traffic, and Buddy Baker, watching from the in-car camera, Jeff Gordon just grabbed the gear and downshifted for him. I mean, things got stacked up there pretty quick for a minute. There you see that pack of traffic. The leaders are running in. That's Bobby Hillen just ahead. The Heilig Myers Ford of Judy Donlevy.
We've got a new fourth-place car too. Earnhardt just moved into fourth.
There he is, having passed Jeff Bodine in the Family Channel Ford number 7. Moving underneath Bobby Hillen's teal-colored machine.
Now, do you see the slower car goes to the outside here because the preferred line is the bottom, and that's a nice move for Hillen to get out of the way on the high side of the racetrack.
Bodine moving underneath. And that kind of puts the front four right together.
A little bit of traffic stacked it up, closed them right back up again.
Take you back in the pack a bit. There's a battle for 13th position. There's Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip, and Rick Wilson. 13th position here.
There we see Morgan Shepherd. He really got off to a good start. He's back in this pack here. For some reason his cars fell back. They've really been running good lately.
And on the left of your screen, Michael Waltrip, the Pennzoil Pontiac, has come from 24th starting spot.
You see Dale Jarrett in that group right there. His car really works well here. He runs second in the first race this year here, and his car really sticks to the bottom of the racetrack. See him just drive right on by Rick Mass there.
17th place for Jarrett now. Interstate Battery Chevy, Joe Gibbs.
Jarrett's still working up through there. Shepherd's been running a little bit higher. There he goes in that line. He's about out inside laneway.
And we're back up front, 51 laps. Still Jeff Gordon. Bumper to butt with Rusty Wallace.
Neil, we're getting close to the time they're going to start making pit stops if they're worried about the tires. Because
well, I think one thing that might have helped them, Buddy, is they ran a little bit, they got the caution, and ran a little bit, they got the caution, and it enabled them to scuff those tires and put some heat in them. Every time you heat these tires up and cool them down, it's just like curing them. It hardens them and makes it even a little bit harder compound, so that probably played in their favor. Somebody's going to have to make that first move to go in and see what they look like.
Here's your Napa Field Standing Update, brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
Well, what happened here? This big gap all of a sudden.
Yeah, Rusty stretched it out here just in the last couple of laps. Morgan Shepherd has been dropping back in the field. Shepherd started this race in 7th position. He's currently posted in 20th. At the front of the pack, Wallace seems to be pulling away just a little bit. And Ernie Irvin is unable to gain on Jeff Gordon at this moment.
what happened to Jeff Gordon was they were overlapping the Keystone car of Wally Dallenbach, and he got caught on the outside. In just one corner, he was on the outside. That's how far he dropped back.
And, Buddy, you know, too, if Rusty Wallace said earlier he was a little bit tight, right now is when it'll be in his favor. That tightness will leave and some looseness will come to the car and neutralize. So right now, Rusty's car is probably better than it was 15 or 20 laps ago.
We've had a couple of questions on the 800 line about tires. If they have to have 50 pounds of air, or is that the maximum, and what they actually fill the tires with. It's not just compressed air.
I tell you what, sometimes they'll use compressed air, and most of the time they use nitrogen. They'll use nitrogen simply because the heat doesn't affect the air pressure. It doesn't go up so much. But the tires can withstand. You can put 100 pounds of air pressure if you want to. They're so strong you can put 100. The trick is to find the right air pressure. You'll see them check the temperature. They want it to read the same on the inside, the outside, and in the middle of the footprint of the tire. And that pressure is what dictates how much air pressure it takes, the heat.
Rusty Wallace has led every lap of this race.
And the heat's coming back.
Yeah.
You look at Jeff Gordon, though, he's running back down. That car is sailing. For a guy that's just riding, he's doing a pretty hard job of riding.
Front five have been pretty constant here the last 40 laps or so.
The first thing you got to learn about race car drivers, they don't tell you the truth. The little young ones are worse. They'll lie to you even more.
I hate to tell you all this, but we're getting reports that they're seeing a little bit of smoke off the car, too.
I saw that just once or twice, just a little wisp of it.
Maybe it's just a fender or something barely touching the tire. That really is not a problem. That's what we hope.
I just hope it's not, you know, something tire-wise. We hope we just have to play this out and see what happens. But if he was complaining a little bit of push, he might be smoking that right front some. I've ran the same Ford. I know you have to, buddy. It smells like a tire plant coming off that right front, all that rubber boiling all day long. So it's not the best of feelings.
No. Looked like the old Indian burned the blanket thing, you know?
Yeah.
Poof, poof.
Smoke signal. Let's go back to 8th place here. 7th, 8th tonight this is. Ooh, Todd Bodine. Yesterday a winner, and today he's in trouble in the Butch Mock Factory Stores Ford.
Yellow is out.
Right front.
Caution is out.
He knocked the toe way out of that thing.
Yeah, Bill Elliott's coming down pit road. Now, I don't know about that call because I wonder if they're going to say he got in before the caution came out.
I believe he has a right front that's flat.
He's going on high,
I don't know what's wrong.
Well,
I see something there on the front that don't look right.
They may have made a decision to pit, and he was in the pit lane. Caution came out, and he had to roll right through. So he'll be on the tail end of the lead lap. He does not lose a lap. You can see that Todd Bodine smacked the wall pretty good, and the monster has bit another one.
You know, hopefully it's not what we were talking about. We were right at that stage where we'd be concerned with it.
When we get Bill Elliott's car back on when he comes down pit road, right front fender on that car has some damage. There's something they might have made contact.
He might have hooked somebody's quarter panel and peeled that out. Todd Bodine has hooked the wall.
Woo. Well, you can see the skid marks way back before he got in there. He did lose something on that right front, looked like. Got it up in the wall.
Did a tremendous job yesterday in winning the 200-mile Busch Gray National race. And he brings out the 3rd caution of the day. Everybody comes to pit lane. 3 cars that stay out, 4 cars were lapped automobiles, and Darrell Waltrip will stay out. Or is that, excuse me, that's Kenny Wallace staying out. So everybody on the lead lap is in, and that's almost everybody. 28 cars are on the lead lap right now.
Boy, everybody went to school yesterday on have to have 4 tires every time you have a caution, because that won the race for Todd Bodine yesterday.
Our director, Gary Clem's, going to give you a new view of pit road. Here are the 3 leaders in their pits. Remember, Rusty, as the leader, got to his pit first. He's pitted right near victory lane. And on the right side of your screen, you'll see how they line up as they come down pit lane. And it'll be Wallace ahead of Irvin. Irvin picks up a spot on Jeff Gordon.
Boy, that was a great pit stop by Ernie Irvin's crew, but I tell you, Buddy Parrott and those guys on Rusty Wallace's car, they video everything and really get into this thing.
They are good. 62 laps are complete here at Dover Downs. We'll be back after these messages.
Country's restless heart. And Little Texas. Restless Heart and Little Texas. The Texas Connection from Fiesta, Texas. TNN Monday.
There's still time to register for the Mid-Atlantic Sportsman's Saltwater Tournament. It's not too late. Saturday, September 25th. Cash, prizes, and awards for all eligible inshore and offshore species of fish. Proceeds benefit Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Southside Hampton Roads. Savings bonds for winners in the kids division. Register now at all area Hooters restaurants, Marina Shores, Salt Ponds Marina, or your favorite tackle shop. The Mid-Atlantic Sportsman's Saltwater Fishing Tournament. Saturday, September 25th, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't miss it.
Oh, every time we say goodbye.
Goodbyes are never easy, but none are as painful as saying goodbye forever. So please, give blood once more this year. You could help save someone you never want to part with.
I wonder why a little.
We're back live at Dover Downs on the Nashville Network, bringing you Winston Cup stock car racing on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in September. Let's get out of the pits for an analysis on what happened during those stops. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, I'm with Steve Mill, crew chief on Mark Martin's car, and you've had a chance to look the tires over, Steve. What do they look like?
Stuff looks good. We're too tight. We were wondering what the weather did to us yesterday. We started them a little bit looser than normal, but we're still showing 10 tight on pressure build up, so we're working on it. We took a little wedge out, put a little air in the right rear on that stop, so it's only going to get tighter from here. The guy that started a little bit looser than us will be better, but we're working on it.
But no problems out of the ordinary?
No, Lord, no. Goodyear's got a good tire here. They had a little trouble here in the spring. People let too much air out, but we started recommended pressure. It'll be fine.
Well, that tells that story.
Bill Elliott, black flag for going above the line, coming into the pits above the white line.
We also had a call in the pits that the 75 and the 11 car, Bill Elliott, did blow a tire. So I don't know what we got right there with that.
The Todd Bodine cut down a tire before he went up into the wall.
Yep.
That's one of the things.
And also Bill Elliott had tire problems. Could just be a coincidence. Flats. Let's see.
Let's check in with Mark Martin here. He weaves the car back and forth. We'll get set to go to restart here shortly. Mark, this is TNN. Can you copy us up here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Mark, how's it going? It looks like you got off to a real quick start and then found yourself a place to run back mid-pack there.
Doing fine, just biding our time. The racetrack's pretty treacherous right now, and we're just trying to, you know, run a few laps here and get everything going our way. We'll start moving up gradually as the laps go forward, I think.
Okay, thanks. Good luck. He makes a good point. We're only 65 laps into this. There's only 435 laps to go. Too early to start wondering if your car is working right or maybe not working too well, or he thinks it'll come around to him.
You sound like Eddie Wood. I used to run, seemed like half a day, and he'd call, say, just 230 more to go. Never did like him when he give you that call.
As we get ready to go back to green, here's the way they're running. Wallace, Irvin, Gordon, Earnhardt, and Bodine. Now, for a second, Wallace had a pit stop of 18.2 seconds. Ernie Irvin was 19.7. Jeff Gordon was 21.5. That's why two of those three spots changed hands. Mark Martin, Harry Gant, Kyle Petty, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Schrader running pretty much where they were when they came onto pit road after that caution flag. In the right lane for the restart, Wally Dallenbach, Kenny Wallace, Dave Marcus, cars that are one lap or more down. Also Bobby Hillen and Jimmy Horton running at his home racetrack.
They're saying we're going racing this lap. There's a record coming down pit road with the car, but I guess he can clear it.
That'll be Bob Shack's being hauled back to the garage area. Green flag. And this time Wallace doesn't get away quite so easily. But the car with him is not second place Jeff Gordon. It is Ernie Irvin, rather, who's moved up to second. Then Gordon finally clears the lap car of Wally Dallenbach in the back straightaway.
Wow, did you see Earnhardt then? He got in the side of the Keystone car there and just shot right straight up the racetrack. He was real lucky to catch that car.
It's hard to realize watching this on TV just how close these cars are to the edge of control until something like that happens. And suddenly, you're out of control. And Earnhardt lost it and caught it all in the blink of an eye.
I shouldn't say that was lucky. He's good. You see him do that a lot.
We were looking at the back of Jeff Gordon's car. After Earnhardt got around him, it looked like he's trying to catch Gordon. Gordon's car had a lot of speed early in the race.
You know, the trunk lid of that car is the only piece on it that's painted all one color.
Yeah, the guy that paints that car earns his money.
Yes. And often.
And often.
What people don't realize, they'll run one of these races. If you get out of this race without a scratch, they still have to take a back berth and totally redo the cars, paint them and everything, because they got to look like a showpiece at every race.
That's right. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, we're down in the garage area. They're working on Todd Bodine's car, trying to get it ready to get it back out there. Todd, what happened? You think you ran over something?
Yeah, I definitely could run over something, cut the tire down. The car was a little tight, but not bad, and I was babying the right front anyway, and just run over something and went up in the wall. I got it slowed down pretty good, so it's not too bad, but we're not going to make it back out.
But you're okay. You had a really good day yesterday. Kind of tough to take having this happen so early.
Well, you know, it's kind of like a deal like Bristol. We won at Bristol, and the next day we didn't even make the race. So, you know, that's racing. It's ups and downs, and you got to take everything in between.
Okay, we had a lead change. Let's go back upstairs to Mike.
That young fella could turn out to be the best of the Bodine brothers.
Boy, I tell you what, he's got a lot of talent. He really does.
Ernie Irvin has put the Robert Yates Haviland Ford out in front. A couple of calls on our 800 number about why that number might not be retired in honor of Davey Allison. In all of NASCAR racing, the car number belongs to the car owner, Robert Yates Racing, and they continue. And, you know, okay, it would have been nice to retire the number in Davey's memory, but you keep that number on the car, and the first thing people think of is Davey Allison, and isn't that a more fitting tribute?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
In that last shot, you can see Jeff Gordon and Earnhardt moving up in here. They're fighting it out right now just behind the leaders.
Lake Speed made a pit stop under green in the Buckmore Motorcraft Ford. So he'll go down a lap as Earnhardt pulls up on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. Third place. There's the interval. First and second, back to third and fourth.
Here comes Earnhardt.
He's able to get around Gordon really where it seems like Gordon's strong. So he's right in the center of the corner. Earnhardt's car is working well on the bottom.
I tell you, when you get the nose under somebody, it's over with. You go right on by.
And look who else is coming into the picture, Mark Martin.
Yeah, Mark's moved right into this thing.
He wasn't kidding when he said he's going to just ease his way on up front.
Well, when you're sitting in that car, you know how good it is. If you got one that's mediocre, you can pretty well run it to death all day long. But when you got a really good race car, you can pace yourself and use your head a little bit more. The guy that's working real hard, he's got one that just won't keep up, and he's running a mile over his head all the time.
Look at him gobble up Jeff Gordon.
Wow, is he getting off into the corner? That car is really strong. He's right on that white line. You see him come out here. The car is really smooth. That's where you lose. If you're loose or anything, you'll see the car twitch around there.
Buddy, we just got a call from the pits. They said this set of tires is a little bit tighter than the other set, and it's hurting him in the middle of the corner. So he must have lost some speed there.
Let's go back to the battle for eighth, where Bobby Labonte in the Maxwell House Ford of Bill Davis trying to hold off Kenny Schrader. Kodiak Chevrolet. Schrader slides on through. Man runs 95 races a year.
Man, I don't know how he does it. He's learned to sleep on an airplane, I can tell you that.
Yes. Does it because he loves it.
You know, you hear criticism about that, but I'm not so sure that's not a good idea. The more you race, the better you get at it. And Schrader really runs a lot of races, and I don't think it hurts him to get off of it stuff. I think the determining factors, they get so much invested in these drivers in a Winston Cup team, they just don't want to risk them out there somewhere else.
Look at Mark Martin pull up on coming out of the corner there. You talk about a car that's sailing.
We speculate a little at Richmond. Just what are they doing with that team that has made them so tough these last 5 or 6 weeks? Somebody who purports to know says, well, they're better on rougher tracks. The rougher, bumpier tracks, it is something in that makes them a tick better.
Well, they've been together for a while now, and I think Steve Neal knows a lot about what he likes in the car, and you get to see the car. It works so well.
79 laps complete here at Dover Downs. Now it's Ernie Irvin being chased by Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just eat up the engines.
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win. I'll try to remember that, AJ. Do that.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
The new Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Split Fire Spark Plug 500. Brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Ernie Irvan out in front of Rusty Wallace by a car length. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and Mark Martin closing on the third and fourth place battle. They're the two leaders, and Irvin's beginning to stretch it out a bit. He pulls up on the Cedar Ridge RV Ford of Jimmy Means. There is Mark Martin. Has come from 9th to 5th in the last 53 laps. We mentioned Steve Emile just coming in here this morning. They took the spare Dover car home. More on that in a moment. Lead change? Maybe. Yeah, certainly.
Wow. Kind of dramatic, wasn't it?
Just a couple of laps before that, you know, the 28 car had about 5 car length lead. Must have sure jumped on that in a hurry.
And no traffic, nothing near them. Think about that pass. It was over almost before it started. Irvin didn't fight it. Maybe a look in the mirror and said, well, if he wants to go, let him. Let's not let that next pack close up on us.
Yeah, just 418 to go. I'll keep reminding you.
Don't remind me.
You're going to beat him over the head if he keeps talking about that.
It's a good day of racing here at Dover. And one of the reasons why this battle up front.
I tell you what, the complexion of racing has changed so much. Used to, we would come here, but just maybe run mediocre for 400 laps and worry about running that last 100 miles. But nowadays, if you're going to race, you're going to race from the time they drop this flag. There's so many good cars, somebody's going to check out.
Third place could have changed hands right here. And did. Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin got underneath Dale Earnhardt. They are 2 seconds behind the leader right now. And the fans come to their feet for Earnhardt or for anybody but Earnhardt. If he moves up a spot or back a spot, everybody stands up.
You can't tell if he's doing good or bad because he'll get up any way he does.
Now, Steve Meal just got here because they took the backup car from Dover and took it back to the shop and completely reskinned it for Martinsville next week. Turned it into a short track car.
Why? Because at Martinsville testing the other day, they messed up the car. Then they tore one up and had to redo one.
Lost the brakes, went into the wall hard. Mark was not injured, but the car was toasted. Now, it used to be, Neil, also, you'd have 3 or 4 different intermediate track cars for a place like Dover, and you could just hog out the wheel wells of it and take that car to Martinsville, but now they changed it around completely.
Yeah, you got to have nose weight, rear weight, side weight, body high, body low, quarters high. There's so many things that you have to do to make the car cater for each racetrack. Well, I'll tell you, you just got to dial them in for each place you go.
There's Earnhardt. Right behind him, Jeff Bodine. That number 7 car in black this week. Carries the colors of the Family Channel, who just put a big figure into Bodine's bobsled project for the Winter Olympics.
There comes Harry again.
There's Jeff. Oh, and Mark Martin is hard in the wall and aflame.
I'll tell you what, that was a right front again. You know, we keep. I mean, I'm first one to say let's don't say there's a problem, but I'm not so sure we're not downplaying a problem because we're seeing too many cars with that right front problem go like that. So hopefully it wasn't.
Looked like he cut down the tire and went straight up into the wall, bent the rear end. Apparently a leaking fuel line there is causing that flame, and Mark's waiting till that thing comes to a halt to hop out.
He's already dropped that screen out of there in case the fire would come up in the car.
Yeah, that's
moving on myself.
That's a fuel fire right there. And he doesn't know what he's got behind him, or he would be out. The problem is if he drives it down pit road, there's a lot of gas tanks on pit road, a lot of fuel waiting to be put in.
I'm sure the spotter's telling him, Neil, he might be trying to get that thing to where there's some extinguishers. Now the cockpit pretty well filling up with smoke.
Yeah, that's the way to go, Mark. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be 100 yards away now looking back.
I bet he's got no brakes either. Or he might have stopped that thing before.
He just pulled the pin on the extinguisher inside. You see him reach back in and pull the pin. Our camera might get toasty here.
I tell you what, though, that was good thinking on his part, reach in there and pull that pin back out.
Yeah, they used to ask me if it catch on fire, did you turn the fire extinguisher on? I always left and thought about it later. Now the fire's getting inside the car.
Yeah, it's inside the car now.
Could be tough to put this thing out. But whoa, what are we doing at the car? Looks like give it a little bit more room. They got the fire out.
Well, it'll bring out the caution here at lap number 95. That's the 4th one of the day.
You know, a lot of people say, why did that car catch on fire? But it probably knocked the fuel pump off the front of the motor there.
They had to do that. Close to the frame anyway.
Here's your top 5 after 95 laps. We're under caution. And we'll be right back to Dover Down.
You saw yourself on a Harley, the tyrant of the 2-lane.
And you on stage at Madison Square Garden, the lights, the fans.
Then you met her. Goodbye, Harley.
Hello, Diamond.
Matching towels.
Power tools.
And a house. Now you're remodeling, buying lumber and plywood.
Choosing paneling. Molding.
Doors. Windows. Tile backer. Tile backer? Would you say your interests have evolved?
Georgia Pacific. Whatever you dream for your home, we help you build on your imagination.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back.
Get guaranteed Splitfire benefits for all gasoline engines at leading automotive stores nationwide.
There's an uncommon musical storm brewing when the Texas Tornadoes hit the stage on the American Music Shop. Holly Dunn co-wrote this #1 hit with country music crony Radney Foster. A former bird on the California rock scene, Chris Hillman fronts the Desert Rose Band these days. Chris Hillman, the American Music Shop on TNN Tuesday.
We're back live at Dover Downs, and tip of the TNN hat to Broadcast Sports Technology and Peter Larson and his group for building up a camera that would stand up to that kind of punishment. We do not have the view from suspension cam in the right front. Because with this camera system, there are 3 cameras in the car, but only 1 can transmit at a time, and we were on the 360-degree cam.
I'll tell you what, Mark Martin's giving up on winning. He wants to get it back where they get it where it can go. Look here, that's the tire. You know, man.
That's a hard angle there. There's the fire.
The bad problem with one of those is when you're in the bottom, you see you're going to wreck for a long time before you get there.
Push is when you hit the wall and see the wreck, right, buddy?
That's as close to seeing a draft as you'll ever see. See the air coming up and turning that fire into the back of the car? That's what,
right.
You
Exactly
see
what
another car come up behind one, that's what you're in.
Let's show you another angle, real time, full speed, watch and listen.
And hang on. Oh. That's when Mark was feeling around in to see if everything was still intact. Mark's sticking with the car. He wants to get it down to the garage area.
Well, when you're
see if there's any chance to get that thing out in for some points.
Boy, that's good to see him outside that car in good health, because he hit that wall at Martinsville really hard. He hit hard today, too.
Hey, Mark's physical shape is unbelievable. He works out all the time. He's a small guy, but he's a strong build, and I think that pays off when you have something like this happen.
Yeah, his stomach's about as flat as the side of that car.
Kind of like mine, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, he is quite a physical fitness advocate. Keeps himself in super shape. And it's a good thing if you're going to take a whack like that. Now, they are 3rd in the Winston Cup point standings, 317 points behind Dale Earnhardt, so it's imperative that they do anything they can to get this car back in the race today.
They're going to have to be pretty smart to get that one back in. Everything on is turned to the right.
Mark says, I think I'll go sit down while they fix this thing, because I guarantee that thing rung his bell a little bit.
We've got Glenn Jarrett down there with him. Glenn?
Well, first of all, Mark has climbed out of the car. Mark, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
What happened, do you know?
We lost a right front tire. Air, I heard it pop. I don't know what happened. I heard it pop and going into one. So, sorry. Peeled the wall pretty good.
Yeah, you did. What about the flames? You didn't get any of that on you, did you?
Nah, got a little warm, but it's okay. Everything's all right.
Glad to see you out of the car and okay. This car is really badly damaged, guys, up close. It's completely flattened on the right side. I don't see any way in the world to get that thing back out there today.
Thanks, Glenn. There you see the tumbling of air coming up from underneath the car because the spoiler directs most of the airflow up and over. That's a mess. The right front tire lasted but 27 laps since it had been changed on that right front. We don't know if Mark ran over something or if the tire just let go or if there was something rubbing on it, but all the leaders are now pitting.
Rusty Wallace's crew, one of the quickest bunches around. Just look at the right front of that when it came off. Take a look at it.
And Ernie Irvin's team.
You know what we got to keep in mind is you're not going to get many of these guys on pit road to say, hey, there's, you know, the tires doing this or it's doing that. And we are getting some behind the scenes talk that the tires are going to be questioned.
Boy, look at this race down to the... Rusty just barely beat him down there.
You think they don't honor that speed limit, though? They look like they took off and just stopped all of a sudden, you know.
That's right, like they had the brakes on. Now, allow me a silly question. Did you ever, after you changed rides, did you ever see the pit board and come in and not stop at the right pit?
Oh, yeah, I did that in Talladega leading the race. Stopped 3 different pits. They had the same color on. I didn't go down the pits before the race. And I started in. I didn't know where they were at.
Oh, no.
There's the tires that come off the 5 car of Ricky Rudd. No, so I'm sorry, that's off of right front 2. That's set 5. So that's off Rusty Wallace right there. They're checking them right now. They're looking at air pressure to see how much buildup they have. What concerns them is if the thing's getting a lot of buildup, you start with a lot of air pressure goes up and it just explodes the tire. So that's what they're checking.
Some of these sponsors don't miss a trick. You saw a little Miller decal right there on the wheel even. You can't read that when he's going by at 140 miles an hour. Morgan Shepherd in trouble here. Wood Brothers team pushing a Citgo Ford along, trying to get him refired. 100 laps on the board. We asked Dale Earnhardt if he looks at Ernie Irvin any differently now.
We did work together as Chevrolet drivers, probably at Talladega, places like that in the draft, and it's not really been a thing where you just, you know, all out and out teammates. It'll pretty much be about the same way now. If we could hook up and drag by another car to pass them or do better, I'm sure we'll still do that.
Craftsman Tools. Chosen the official tools of NASCAR. The official tools of NHRA. The official tools of IndyCar racing. Next time you need a tool, what tool are you gonna choose? 1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America. Guaranteed forever.
You can count on me.
Only at Sears.
If you care about this big, beautiful world, show me.
Don't give me another toxic antifreeze.
Give me something different.
Don't just tell me how it protects to 70 below.
And guards against rust?
Any antifreeze can do that.
Tell me it's safer for my dog, my family, the kids.
Tell me nothing protects better.
And it's biodegradable.
That's what I want to know.
That's what I want to hear.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
The high school junior class at Clear Lake High is very opinionated when it comes to music, especially country music. What's more, they want to know everything about the artists, like Little Texas.
Little Texas! Oh my goodness!
TNN Country News premieres September 27th. It's for the fan in you.
Welcome back to Dover. From our in-car on Mark Martin's machine, we had helped to tell you a little bit about this public service program Valvoline's doing. You can GED it, encouraging people who have dropped out of high school to work on getting their graduate equivalency degree, equivalent to a high school diploma. You get that diploma, and then you can go out and do things like this. We're about to show you one more angle on what happened here.
See him going right in the bottom of the racetrack, and then the car just makes that right. Mark said he heard the tire blow, and when it does, I'm telling you, on 4 of them sticking as good as they can, it's hard to make that curve. When you lose that right front, you're going.
You notice something, though. He did not lock the brakes up, so he didn't hit on a straight angle. He angled it in there. That's why he's walking around right now.
Good point. Nice thing the Valvoline folks are doing, being involved in that. And folks, there's no substitute for a good education, no matter what field of work you're in. We'll go down to Randy Pemberton.
You got 28 crew over here talking to the crew, to Raymond Fox and Todd Parrott. Earnhardt just came over the radio and said, you know, let's face it, Goodyear is the tire maker here so far in the Winston Cup Circuit. They're the best tire maker in the world, but the fact is they got to build them to go 500 miles here, or at least 50 miles, and they're having a tough time with this one. The problem is Earnhardt said, I don't care if you raise the pressure up, drop it down. We're looking at about a 50-lap run for these tires. So what happened is we've got Hoosier possibly coming into play next year, and it's causing maybe Goodyear to alter this tire. I mean, it's a very political statement to make, but we got to watch the tires the rest of this day. We're going to have 2 tire companies next year, and maybe this is the result of it already.
Thanks, Randy. 103 laps are complete. We'll go racing next time. Jeff Purvis led 2 laps in the Morgan McClure Kodak Chevrolet. Then he pitted, and Rusty Wallace is back up front.
I guess the end result of that tire deal, for $1,200, you want to go more than 26 laps. $1,200 a set, or somewhere around that number. So it's just something where they have to just continuously work on it, and Goodyear puts out a good effort. Hoosier does too. It's just a matter of catering to these cars and these tracks.
A lot of speedy dry there in the back straightaway. Down low, out of the groove as the field will come around this time and look for the green, lap 104 of 500. Wallace the leader, Irvin second, Earnhardt third, Gordon fourth, Kyle Petty now up to fifth, Jeff Bodine sixth, Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Schrader, Harry Gant are the top 10 as we go back to green. Shepard's car was an ignition problem, but he got restarted out there, lost a lap. He lined up alongside Rusty Wallace.
We saw Rusty make the break, and Irvin got caught behind the 21 car.
We restarted lap 104, and the question now is, will we see pit stops at lap 154 if we stay green?
I think you'll see some of the guys make that call instead of waiting for something to happen, because that something or someone could be you.
Boy, oh boy, you know, right now they have to ride. They cannot race really hard, but you see Ernie Irvin coming up under the 21 car there, and Earnhardt right behind him. I'm sure they're playing a little bit of a chess game right now.
Boy, Irvin was right down with his left side wheels on the flat going into the corner. Now he and Earnhardt move past Morgan Shepherd. Good ways back. The run at 5th, 6th, and 7th. There they are, Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Kyle Petty. Blake Speed is in that pack in the Bud Moore car, but he made a green flag pit stop early, and he is 2 laps down in number 15. Bodine, Spencer, and Petty.
Here we see Irvin trying to reel in Rusty Wallace, and it's going to turn into how hard do I want to go?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're going to have to, if their car, if these drivers are good enough, they can feel if they're skating that right front tire. If they run it too hard in the corner, it slips the wheel a little bit. Well, they're going to probably run their car as good as it feels when it's stuck totally and not slip the tire. You see him waving his hand right there. Clear the lap car. Got around the 21 car. He thanked him for letting him by without holding him up a lot.
How hard can you run it for how long? We'll find out here at Dover Downs. 109 laps complete. Here's the top 5 back through Jeff Bodine. The rest of your top 10 will be back to Dover after this.
Saturday, climb aboard for a wild ride. Nemechek and Presley duke it out. The rest of the field tries to keep pace. TNN presents the New England Chevy Dealers 250, 3:30 Eastern, Saturday.
Okay, bud, just hold your finger right there. I'll be right back with the part.
At Advance Auto Parts, our in-store inventory of over 15,000 parts is growing every day. And with our special PDQ service, in most cases, we'll get you those hard-to-find parts the same day. So what are you waiting for? Next time you need an auto part in a hurry, go to Advance.
There's still time to register for the Mid-Atlantic Sportsman Saltwater Tournament. It's not too late. Saturday, September 25th. Cash, prizes, and awards for all eligible inshore and offshore species of fish. Proceeds benefit Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Southside Hampton Roads. Savings bonds for winners in the Kids Division. Register now at all area Hooters restaurants, Marina Shores, Salt Ponds Marina, or your favorite tackle shop. The Mid-Atlantic Sportsman Saltwater Fishing Tournament. Saturday, September 25th, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't miss it.
We're back live at Dover Downs. Rusty Wallace leading Ernie Irvin, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Bodine. Word from the garage is they are going to try to repair Mark Martin's car and get him back into the race. He's third in the point standings behind Earnhardt and Wallace. I don't think Dale Jarrett can overtake him today, but he needs to stay within sight of the two leaders. Here's your Napa Field standing update after 112 laps. There's 1 lap ago.
That deal, Mike, with them repairing that car, it's no guarantee these guys in front of him are going to finish this race. If he can get that thing repaired, even if he loses 100 laps or 150, and some of these leaders fall out, he goes back out and just rides around.
That's right.
He'll outdo him. So, I mean, there's no guarantee at this place you're going to finish.
Best way to repair that car would be to turn the NASCAR inspector around, say, look at that, roll another one off the truck.
Yeah, they would, but you know what? They have the whole car down there on a board. They have replacement parts for every component under the chassis there, and the new housing and everything. So everything under there will be new when they put it back together.
Let's go back to 8th spot, buddy, and pick up this battle. Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin in the Ray Vestas car, the number 8 Ford of the Stavola brothers. And Harry Gant in with them.
Dale Jarrett, he's running a good, consistent run here, and I imagine he'll be right up front when it's all over with.
I'll tell you somebody that could re-enter and say, we're seeing Harry Gant right there, right behind the 8 car. Gant is really conservative on tires. That's why he, in the long runs, when it pays off for him, if they've got a little bit of a problem here, Gant could be a guy that really figures in this thing before the day's over.
Let's correct this, Neil. It's a battle for 10th. 10th, 11th, 12th.
Gant might have to get up in his own place up top, be a little bit closer to that wall.
Well, it would hurt a lot less if you hit it from up there.
You're right about that.
There's just too much oil dry up there right now.
Yeah.
All the wrecks. Speaking of oil dry, look at the back straightaway. It's covered up.
Oh, Rick Wilson. And I don't think that was a tire. It looked like he and I think that was Ted Musgrave got a little close together there.
Yeah. Wow. Looks like they hit. A lot of oil on the track where he came across.
Safety crews there very quickly. 5th caution of the day. Elmo is going to lead the most laps today.
You're right.
I think so.
And just as we were talking about, if Mark Martin can get his car running, he'll definitely finish ahead of this car. So that's why these guys try to get them back in shape if this car can't keep going.
All right, Rick Wilson is 26th in the point standings, driving for Richard Petty. Let's see what happened here.
This is going down in turn 3.
Boys, he's loose right there.
Yeah.
They didn't make contact. He just lost control right there.
Yeah, he lost it getting down in that corner. He knows he's gone now, but there's not enough brakes in the world to stop him before it hits this piece of concrete. Once you start up this banking, you're going for a ride.
Now, when you hit the left rear that hard, what's the chance you've Z'd the frame and bent the right front?
Well, real good news. Favor that you're going to bend it. I tell you,
that car is going somewhere and has the chassis fixed next week.
When you hit it on an angle like you're talking about, Mike, you see backing in on an angle, it causes what they say diamond. It puts the 2 frame rails out of alignment, and the only way to repair it is cut the nose and the rear clip off the cars. Usually, the only thing they leave is the driver's compartment and weld the front and rear clips on them.
So we're under the 5th caution of the day. 119 laps have been complete. Here's a look at your top 10 as we go to break. We'll be back after this.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Wake up to Shawnee's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shawnee's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shawnee's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
For this guy, any deodorant will do, but these guys need Speed Stick, antiperspirant that gives 110%. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick, for movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSE street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSE, only from Goodyear.
The Nashville Network's exclusive coverage of the Split Fire Spark Plug 500 is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Okay. We're back live at Dover Downs. 121 laps are on the board. Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvan, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Bodine, and Jimmy Spencer moves up into the 5th position. Let's go to Randy Pemberton. Randy?
Well, Robin Pemberton here. Earnhardt came in. He changed some tires. You brought Kyle back in. Precautionary measure, maybe debris on the track. What is it?
Yeah, there's, you know, as many cars has been spinning out or hitting or whatever. I mean, there's debris on there, and it's an awful long race. You can get a lap or two down and come back and win this thing. And, you know, we're just being cautious right now. Lots happen. We just want to, you can't win or run in the front at the end if you're not out there.
The question was, can you put those tires back on the car later? Are they now scuffs? Can you use them again?
Nah, they saw their best life when they went out across the wall.
Glenn Jarrett?
Well, Randy, I'm in Dale Earnhardt's pits, and I talked to Andy Petrie, and I asked him if they took those tires off to use them as scuffs, because a lot of times, you know, we talked on break there, Neil said they might try to run scuffs. They said that won't work either. The tires seem to only run 50 laps. That's all they're good for right now. So they're just telling their drivers to back off, take it easy, try to make them last as long as they can.
Thanks, Glenn. With all these driver changes, there have been a number of questions on our 800 number about if the points go with the driver when he changes cars, or does the car have points? And actually, both the driver and the car owner have separate point systems and separate point funds. There's the Richard Petty-owned STP Pontiac, Rick Wilson's car being dragged back. So Ernie Irvan keeps his points that he's earned with Morgan McClure this season, but Robert Yates Racing keeps all the points that they earned, the car owner points they earned with Davey Allison and Lake Speed, and for the rest of the year.
You know, we touched on top of the show also, there's manufacturer's points, so there's 3 battles going on at the same time.
What's the record for cautions here at Dover, Greg?
Oh,
Greg Fielden, our statistician's going to
I'll let you know
look
in
that
about
one
400
up.
laps. I'll let you know.
I think once Richard Petty came from about, it was either 6 or 12 laps down or something here to win. I think you were in that race.
I was in it. I was some of the caution you're talking about.
You folks were talking during one of the breaks about an incident at Charlotte that happened, a race at Charlotte where we had these kind of difficulties.
Well, that's back when we had 2 tire companies in there, and Neil went by me, and I called my crew, and I said, I think he's running a little too hard, and I passed him. He was in the wall. In a few minutes, Harry Gant went by me, and I said, hey, he's running too fast. He's going to smack the wall. And sure enough, he got in the wall, and I said, I got a good pace. Boom. into the wall I went, so I didn't guess right either.
Richard Petty made up 6 laps here in 1975 to win at Dover, so you can get down and come back. Could happen today. We're under caution at Dover Downs. 125 laps coming up. We'll be right back.
Wouldn't it be great if you were stranded on a desert island with a beautiful woman named Betty? Cool. And while scouting the island, you were suddenly surrounded. You! But then they noticed your shoes. You! Great one! Booga, booga! So they gave you gifts. Keystone! Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Specially lined for really smooth. Bottle beer taste and tear! Tweeting time! Wouldn't that be great?
On the next Celebrities Off Stage, we'll shoot hoops with Sawyer Brown star Mark Miller. Barbara Mandrell is one of the hardest working women in show business. We'll take a look at her blockbuster new show. And Ricky Van Shelton almost didn't survive his country music success. He'll tell us his dramatic story.
I looked for my pistol because I was going to put it to my head and just blow my brains out. I was so miserable.
Celebrities Off Stage on TNN, the Nashville Network, Monday night.
They just waved the green flag to restart this race as they come down the front straightaway at Dover Downs. Rusty Wallace leads Ernie Irvin off into the corner. Morgan Shepherd, a lap car. That white car separates them. Jeff Gordon in third. Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer. Then Ricky Rudd in sixth. Bodine and Spencer side by side.
Trying to get, that looks like Jimmy Horton in front of him there.
Yeah, that's Errol Horton.
Oh, buddy.
Let me tell you what.
No, I think Michael Jordan's got a patent on that.
Yeah, but let me tell you what, Jimmy Horton is glad to be able to joke about it.
You're not kidding.
The ride he took. I'm somebody to be talking.
Yeah. Hamilton, New Jersey driver. In the number 32. Active Trucking Chevrolet. Gone a lap down. Had the flyer at Talladega, but back here at his home track, it's running well.
That could have been active suspension, you know, when he went up.
Could have been. And Ricky Rudd moving up. Ricky's got 3 victories here at Dover. Here's a look at Jimmy Spencer. Let's track his progress through this race. In the last 56 laps, he's gained 5 spots.
You know, when you race under situations like Buddy was talking about Charlotte, I remember being that day at Charlotte, and it's kind of like seeing a guy walk across a minefield and step on one and you say, hey, there's more mines, but I got going across there too.
But you got to get there.
It's a bad feeling, and these guys are going to have to really pace themselves.
One of those mines hit this car, Mark Martin's.
Steve Mill down there with a welding machine. These cars are put in big, fancy, nice jigs, but right now they're down to probably a measured tape and a square and some welding rods trying to put it back together.
And it's not just a matter of getting some kind of suspension and putting a wheel on it. They have to run a minimum speed or NASCAR won't let them stay out there.
What used to kill me about that, you'd be at Daytona Talladega, you wreck, they say, go out there and ride slow. Well, slow is 150. And you just take an average car and go out there with a front end jumping and bouncing and hopping and try to ride around 150 miles an hour. It's not easy.
Record for most caution flags here, 14. We've had 5 already in the first 100 miles. Record for caution laps, 88, set in 1986.
You see Dale Earnhardt working up through the traffic there. He's being really careful. You know, normally he would go off in that corner and look like he's going to wreck in every corner. He's real smooth on those tires right now.
Pulling up on Dick Trickle. If you joined us late, Brett Bodine crashed Friday, broke his wrist. Say hi to Brett, who's up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, awaiting Dr. Terry Trammell's group of surgeons to set that wrist, put it in a cast, so he could drive next week at Martinsville.
Boy, thank goodness it's just the wrist that's giving him a problem, because the lick he took, it could have been a lot worse.
What did race car driver do before Trammell? Hurt?
Drive hurt, I guess.
I guess, because, I mean, they do some wonderful work.
Yeah, fellas like Dr. Terry Trammell, Dr. Steve Olney, Dr. Jerry Petty down in Charlotte.
Right. Yeah.
Back at 17th position. Kyle Petty moving around Jimmy Horton.
You could get the feel talking to their crew that they want to use their head, pace themselves, try to work there and stay all day long, then run at the end of the race. I'm sure they're clocking every lap, just like with Kyle. We're watching the rest of the drivers. They're giving them a call on what they're running.
24 cars on the lead lap, Neil, and I think that looks like the mission right now. Just stay on the lead lap. How do you tell a race driver that, though? Just ride.
That was, you know, I know that was one of my problems. It's like the times I've known there's a problem on the racetrack. What is easy? You know, how much do you back up?
What you have to do is there's cars that have run, you know, 40 laps without any problems, and you get the times that you run that 40 laps, and you try to run within that area. You know, they'll call them out 2480, 2490. All of a sudden you run 2390, and they say that's a little quick. You better back her down.
Yeah, but one thing that always concerned me about that too, is thing enters into it, but you know yourself too, is Mark Martin said his car was just a little bit tight, but not bad. The guy that's got a tight car is going to eat that right front up a little quicker than the guy that's got a loose car, the rear end trying to get out from under him. And I think we're going to see if there is something to be more right front. So a guy might have a perfect chassis. Rusty Wallace's car might be good and sit here all day long at a good pace because he's got the chassis perfect. If you're off some, you're going to abuse the tires even more.
Front three are tightening up. Jeff Gordon moving back up on the leaders.
Yeah, Gordon's working his way right back in there.
You're riding with him.
See, they're just easing along. That's amazing, buddy.
Look at that. Look how good that car is handling now. Look how still his hand is until right here coming out of the corner. It get busy up there.
Yeah, that thing, that banking goes up there and then it goes almost reverse angle. That flatness jumps off so quick that, boy, it really makes you go to work right on top of that corner. Look at here, talking about going to work. 28 cars thinking about Irvin, thinking about taking the lead a little bit.
Pit stop for Greg Sachs in the Country Time Ford. Back out on the racetrack.
And watch him get busy right here.
You know what it reminds me of? Cale Yarborough would go off in the corner and he would just, his hand, the wheel would never be still. He'd always be working it somewhere.
I just fixing to say, ain't nobody ever whipped a wheel like he did.
Then he whipped them in the right direction. I probably did.
Sure, guarantee he was tough.
He sure did.
Well, you'd be riding along with the caution, you see him grabbing gloves, pulling the slack out of him. He's fixing to go to work.
Yeah, when he pulled them up where he could put them under his armpits, he was in trouble.
Okay. Let's get out of the pits. Here's Glenn.
Well, we're outside the hospital. Richard Petty has just come up and talked to his driver, Rick Wilson, to see if he's okay. That's what we're wanting to find out. Rick, that was an awfully hard hit. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know, messed my side up a little bit, a little sore, but, you know, we were running pretty decent. The car just jumped out from under me. I don't know if we had a flat tire or what. You know, we've been struggling, but, you know, I'm okay. I just want to tell my family I'm okay. Be home tomorrow, and everything will be okay.
Thanks, Rick.
Bill from Illinois wanted to know how the drivers are protected from the acid from the battery mounted right behind them in the car for weight distribution.
That thing is concealed. The access to it is through the left rear wheel opening. You can't even get to it from the inside of the race car. It's sealed off totally. The only access is through that wheel opening.
All right, NASCAR's first priority is protecting the drivers. You can build more race cars. As Richard Childress told us on pit lane at Talladega after you had your wreck. He says, as long as Neil's okay, we can build another car.
You also have a rubber casing that sits down in, so there's a lot of protection for the battery there.
First, second, third, Wallace, Irvin, Gordon, 142 laps have been completed.
Looks like Gordon get pretty aggressive here.
I bet Evernham's telling him, you're in a good spot, sit there, don't get too aggressive.
Okay. Watching Ted Musgrave, who we asked if it looks like the manufacturers have stepped up their attempts to secure drivers to run for one make of car. Ted?
Well, I'll say, isn't it? You know, here we got Ernie Irvin on our side now, and I hear rumors that maybe the 2-car will come back with a Ford next year. So that's rumor so far. Let's just see what happens. But manufacturers are trying to do the best they can, and whatever it's going to take is what they're going to do.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
tabs on your engine, look here. To keep tabs on your budget, look here.
You always save money at Walmart.
Save every day on Pennzoil Performax Synthetic Motor Oil. It flows in the cold and keeps cool in the heat, so it protects to the max. And that keeps things right where they should be.
And because we're always working at Walmart to save you money,
you'll find our prices are right where they should be. Walmart, always the low price, always.
TNN viewers have come to know Race Day as their same-day source for motorsports highlights and news. This is Pat Patterson. Be sure to join us tonight at 8:30 when we'll have highlights of many of the day's big events. Don't wait for tomorrow's paper to find out what happened today. Watch Race Day tonight right here on the Nashville Network.
Race Day, 2nd edition, 8:30 p.m. Eastern today on TNN Motorsports. What drives Rusty Wallace?
I'm a competitor. I always want to win, and second's not near good enough. And I remember I used to just dream about this stuff. I was kind of a motorhead too, and man, we were just zeros. We were racing on local dirt tracks. Never thought we'd be where we are right now. A little weird, I guess, but I have a damn good time doing what I do, and I really enjoy it.
Rusty Wallace and TNN Motorsports. When it comes to live NASCAR racing, no one plays as hard.
Power plays on TNN Motorsports.
You're watching from Jeff Gordon's car, and you don't see Ernie Irvan because he just went by, gave him a wave, clean pass, and now Jeff's back up in 2nd place behind Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, that's just a gesture. People talk all day long. What do the drivers do? How do they use the hand signals? I think Irvan pretty well saw he got the heat from Gordon. He let him on by, and Jeff kind of thanked him. But, boy, now Jeff is running his car pretty hard here, buddy.
Yeah, he is running hard.
Let's show you what happened as we were coming back from break here.
Looked like Ernie pushed just a little bit right there. He's coming back in the low part. They're coming off the corner. Might have loosened him up just a little bit there. He's driving right up beside him, and they're not going to contest him going in the corner once you get on that inside.
You know, too, it looked like Jeff Gordon went into that corner up high, and then as road racers would say, late apex the corner, shot down low to come out on the bottom.
Oh, is that what you guys say?
It's what I learned at Buck Baker Driving School, right?
We don't teach late apex, I can tell you that.
That's for sure.
Looks like Gordon's saying, hey, the heck with this tire, questionable stuff going on. I'm going to see if I can take a lead.
Kenny Wallace just ahead, the Dirt Devil Pontiac of Felix Sabates.
The question right here is if Gordon is going to be this aggressive, is Rusty going to fight him really hard or kind of give him his range and let him go right here?
Boy, did you hear how nice and easy he got back on the throttle when he got in the corner there?
Smooth.
That's something that's hard to teach. A lot of people just want to just jump right back in it. That really abuses the tire when you slam it back to the floor.
There he goes. You know, we saw Gordon's car in the middle of the corner be strong. There he goes, closing it up again. And earlier we saw Rusty be able to jump up off that corner and snatch away from him, but Gordon stayed with him this time.
He must be showing beautiful wear on that tire because he's running awfully hard getting in the corner.
He's either showing beautiful wear or throwing caution to the wind.
Wally Dollenbach in the Keystone Ford of Jack Roush moves aside as the leaders come past. 154 laps complete. Ernie Irvan back in 3rd. Jimmy Spencer 4th. Jeff Bodine 5th. We'll take you all the way back through the field here.
You see how fast Jeff Gordon run back up on Rusty in that one corner? He's right back up on the back of the bumper. He was 10 car lengths back. He's really driving hard in the corner.
Bill Elliott, last car on the lead lap, just ahead of the leaders. He is in 23rd position. Here's your 5th place battle. Now Dale Jarrett started deep in the field in 26th spot. There. That group. Let's check with Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jimmy just leaned down, wanted to make sure he could hear me. You've just had a great run, Jimmy. Is he being careful out there?
Well, yeah, it's still real early, you know. This place come up and bite you in a hurry, so you got to take it easy a little bit. But we don't want to let the leaders get away either. little concerned, with tire problems some people have been having. We haven't had any ourselves, but, there's a few things that are in the back of our minds. But the car's working pretty good. We have to make a few more adjustments for the end of the race, but I think we'll be okay.
Mike Joy.
Thanks, Jimmy Make, our crew chief for Dale Jarrett, currently the 6th place car. Almost had a lead change there.
Yeah, he got all the way up beside him, but Rusty pulled, he had the preferred line. He pulled right back down on him. He couldn't make the pass.
So we'll look on the bottom again, and then Wallace comes right back down to the white line.
Rusty's doing that late apex you're talking about. Rusty gets the car around, really cuts the car down right up off the corner. Ooh. Looks like Gordon makes a run in the center of the corner at him.
Yeah.
This is about as close a run as he had it, and getting down to the corner. Let's see if he can do anything with it.
Traffic ahead.
Going to pass. It's going to have to go on that flat part. Rusty's car is working good right on the inside also.
We talked about Cale Yarborough. That's his car just ahead of the race leader. Derek Cope aboard the Bojangles Ford.
Yeah.
That's now the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, just a few seconds ago they overlapped Bill Elliott, so he's a lap down now.
22nd place car of Derek Cope. Here goes Gordon. He's got the opening. He's got the lead.
Did you see Rusty just back off and let him go?
They used that lap traffic. Rusty was going to go around the lap traffic. Gordon followed it, and once Rusty saw him there, he opened the door and let him on through.
11th race that the rookie has led this year.
He said top of the show that this might be his day. He said, told me in the garage it's the best car he's had all year long.
Here's the race for 5th, Neil. Jeff Bodine and Dale Jarrett. Jarrett in 6th place.
And after Jeff Bodine just took over driving his own race car, the car that he bought from Alan Quickie, the Alan Quickie team, it'd be a great run for him here if he could finish up front.
Jeff did a lot in the modifieds driving his own car and essentially crew chief in the car he drove for Billy Taylor and for Dick Armstrong.
I talked to Dale Jarrett one time. I said, why do you qualify so bad and race so well? And he said, we come here with the idea of setting the car up to race.
Car owner Joe Gibbs, former Super Bowl winning coach, now Daytona 500 winning car owner.
Heck of a nice guy, I'll tell you. Great asset to the sport.
Caution is out.
Caution's out
at lap 163. And NASCAR Vice President of Competition Les Richter has called for the caution with the tire situation. They've been in consultation with the teams and with their officials down on pit road. And the coach, former All-Pro with the Rams himself, ex-footballer, he's made the decision that at intervals NASCAR will mandate the caution so that the teams do not have to be concerned about running through a set of tires and into the wall. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, guys, I'm standing by with the Goodyear representative, Wayne Torrance. And Wayne, a lot of question about these tires. We've heard what the teams have said. Tell us, is there a problem with these tires?
Well, we are having some belt edge separation, which we feel is due to lower air pressure than we recommend. We're recommending 50 pounds in the right front, and the failures that we've seen, they admittedly have told us that they're running on 5 pounds or so below that.
Okay, but you don't think then that if they follow recommended pressures in, that the tires will be safe? That's how you feel?
We feel that way, yes.
Okay, that's straight from Goodyear.
Thanks, Glenn.
I tell you what, I'm glad to see straight from NASCAR is this call. We can't jeopardize these drivers, even if it's questionable. Is there a problem?
You know, again, a lot said about the competition, a lot said about the quality of the entertainment and the show. But give these folks credit that run this sport. Their first concern is the safety of the drivers.
Amen.
Keystone Light pit clock is in for Jeff Gordon, Ray Evernham, and Rick Hendrick team. Going to put 4 tires on and around in the right rear.
Hey, that might have been going his way. If he needed bike, he had a loose condition in him, so that's one reason it wouldn't hurt his tires so much. Him running hard.
Ah, what a good stop, too. Out first.
17.7 seconds and first out. Don from Illinois called in. He says if the lead car falls out of the race on the last lap and the second car is 2 laps down, how many laps are left in the race?
I can answer that real well for you. I had a 5-lap lead here one time. I fell out of the race, stood in the garage to watch them catch up.
That's right.
You got to run the full distance.
That's right. Somebody has to run the whole 500 miles. We'll be right back.
Dolly Parton, Roger Miller, Conway Twitty, Tanya Tucker, Alan Jackson, Reba McEntire, Garth Brooks, Vince Gill, Billy Ray Cyrus, and more. The best of 10 years of Nashville now. Catch the history before it's history. TNN beginning Monday, September 27th.
Everything for the race fan. Victory Lane Race Fan Store. It's like being on the team.
Wouldn't it be great if your neighbor was Wally Dallenbach, the Keystone Beer Winston Cup driver?
Wally, great car. Want to take it for a spin, Dave?
A spin?
And keep her under 170, Dave.
170?
See Wally Dallenbach, or possibly his neighbor Dave, race the Keystone Beer stock car in the Winston Cup Series.
Well, how'd you drive, Dave?
Well, she drifts a little in 3. No problem. But we need to bleed the brakes.
Wouldn't that be great?
We're back live at Dover Downs. 166 laps complete. We are 1/3 distance in the 500 miles here. High above the racetrack are Ray Vestas aerial platform, the best in brakes, bringing you these views of Dover Downs International Speedway. Here's the top 10 as they came off pit road. Jeff Gordon picked up the lead. As you look through the standings, Neil, we saw them put a round of wedge in the right rear of that car. Matt from Wisconsin called in and asked about that.
You want to know what really happened inside the car when you put that round of wedge. There's a big ratchet sticking through that back windshield, and there's a plate that sits on top of the coil spring on the rear of the car. And if you put pressure down on it, it tries to shove that wheel further in the ground, which is putting bite in. If you take pressure off of that big plate on top of that spring, it takes weight off and loosens it up. So that's just simply a device to add more weight to each individual wheel, whichever you prefer to do it to.
And you'll see a lot of teams make those changes. They can change either rear wheel, but they can't change the pressure on the front wheels during the race. Change the free height, change the spring height there. Let's get a word, Buddy. Have a word with Jeff Gordon here, and now that he's picked up the lead, we can talk to him during the caution.
Jeff, it's Buddy Baker again with TNN. Can you hear me?
Good boy, buddy. I got you.
Boy, I tell you, looking good. Everything going well on the tires for you?
Yeah, you know, everything's really going well. The car's just, I mean, I can't ask for a better car today. It just takes a little while for it to get going. So, you know, when we got new tires and we take off, it just takes a little while, about 20 or 30 laps before we really get good.
Okay, you got one to go. We're going to let you go back to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
One to go, and we'll go racing here. One viewer called and asked us to update Stanley Smith, the Alabama driver who crashed hard at Talladega, went to the hospital, was temporarily paralyzed, but now he is recuperating. He's in the same facility in Birmingham that did such a great job for Bobby Allison. There is no more paralysis, but he's going to be undergoing therapy for quite some time. And according to a story in one of the racing papers this week, hopes to return to the sport as a car owner, and will continue to be involved.
Well, that's good news. I tell you what, he's a fine guy.
Tay Stanley, his whole family was involved with his racing team, and it's great to see him be able to get over this injury. For a while there, it really looked bad.
You know, Mike, I noticed that Jeff's got a little ding on the left front corner of that car, and it's right where the oil cooler hole is. So, but it don't look like it's any obstruction to the air that keep it from going through there.
Looks like he shoved a tire out of the way or something on that air down there. It's hard to tell the way it's bent.
We'll get a restart this time. Morgan Shepherd is one lap down in 22nd position, right alongside Jeff Gordon. Pace car, Elmo Langley, former race driver himself, now drives the pace car for NASCAR. Stretches out the field and brings his Trans Am to pit road. Chevy, Pontiac, Ford, the front three. Here they come.
Gordon just told us that when his tires were brand new, he couldn't go like he wanted to. We'll see if he can hold Rusty Wallace off here.
On most of the restarts, Rusty got a good jump, and it would take Jeff 10 or 12 laps to gather him back up.
And here we see Rusty coming right up on him.
You know, I really like